every time there's a tragic marriage story, everyone picks sides very fast. The husbands blame the wives blame the husband's family blames the wife's family, and it is total, utter chaos. What happened with Twisha Sharma is absolute tragic. And my condolences to the entire family and everyone who was related to Twisha. Today, I want to make this video to see what we can learn from this case. What exactly is going on in the Indian marriage market? What is going wrong? They're all educated people. The mother-in-law is a very good position, ex-judge. She herself was well-read. Husband is also an educated man. So they're coming from a good background, good family, good education system. What really went wrong? Very few people will ask the deeper questions. What makes the marriages last? मैंने एक एग्जाम्पल देता हूँ. वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 में जब ब्रिटेन के प्लेन्स वापस आ रहे थे, जो फाइटर प्लेन्स थे, when they were coming back from the war, the team then was studying कि जो ये प्लेन्स वापस आ रहे हैं, they were studying the bullet holes in those planes. कि यार नोज पे कितने बुलेट होल्स हैं, विंग पे कौन से एरिया में बुलेट होल्स हैं, फ्यूल टैंक एरिया में, बॉडी पे कहाँ पे बुलेट होल्स हैं. और वो उसी को स्ट्रेंथन कर रहे थे. उनको क्या दिख रहा था कि यार जहाँ पे बुलेट होल्स हैं उसको और स्ट्रेंथन करेंगे तो हमारे प्लेन स्ट्रॉन्ग बनेंगे. बट देन वन फाइन जेंटलमैन, आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकलेक्ट हिज नेम राइट नाउ, suggested that these are the planes that actually made it back. So if we are studying the bullet holes of the planes that have made it back, these are the most robust parts of the plane because these are the planes that survived. Now, why I'm talking about this is called the survivorship bias. And this survivorship bias exists in all areas of life. I have shared earlier how, about survivorship bias in the area of family business, in the area of startups. And today I will be talking about the survivorship bias in a typical marriage. What makes the marriages last? So we only see around us the marriages that survived, and जब हम ऊपर से देखते हैं कि यार these marriages are surviving, they are doing well, that means everything must be perfect. The husband and the wife and the in-laws, families, both are absolutely perfect. तो सब तभी चलता है यार. But हर marriage में कुछ critical areas होते हैं. वो critical areas पे अगर हम robustness दिखाएं as a husband and a wife, as a team, given those areas are made super strong, that is what makes the marriages survive. Now, I am not here to comment on their marriage. I am here to talk about what will make the modern Indian marriages survive. See, India as a society is very distinct from other parts of the world because here the entire concept of marriage is a marriage between two families. And I will talk about certain red flags. This is for all of you, since most of my audience is the next gen in the family business, since a lot of my audience are, millennials, Gen Z पे. तो आप अभी ज़रूर उस स्टेज पे होंगे अपनी लाइफ में जहाँ पे आपको आपके पेरेंट्स से या आपके फ्रेंड सर्कल से या आपके कज़न से वो दिखने को मिल रहा होगा कि यार मेरा भी टाइम आने वाला है शादी का. तो there are certain red flags in a marriage and there are certain things that absolutely work beautifully if done right. There are certain areas of a marriage, if done well, work beautifully and will make the marriage work beautifully. And we are only taking Twisha Sharma's case here because this is something that is a pandemic that is waiting to happen in our country, which is the entire marriage market of this country is based on such a weak foundation कि हम जो ऊपर से दिख रहा है ना कि सब परफेक्ट है, इसकी मैरिज परफेक्ट है, इसका घर परफेक्ट है, इसका रहन सहन घूमना फिरना सब परफेक्ट है, दैट इज़ अ वेरी that's just the tip of the iceberg to begin with. So what happens is, one of the mistakes that people are doing is many people are making decisions emotionally, not pragmatically. What that means is attraction is not enough, love is not enough. You gotta dive deeper. Does your lifestyle match? Do your value systems match? Do your spending habits match? Does your family setup match? Does your family values match? So there are values that I hold and there are certain values that my family holds. Do both the families hold similar values? And जो typical stress test है ना एक couple का, वो खुशी में नहीं देखा जाता, वो दिखाई देता है जब आप किसी stressful time से गुजर रहे हो. How do you both manage stress? individually and together as a couple. Now, another big concern that is now showing up slowly in the Indian family systems, in the Indian marriage setups is, and this is for the ladies out there, for the young women, you're maybe in your mid-20s, early 20s, late 20s, getting married, you really like the guy and the guy is perfect, he's studied well, he's well-read, good looking, dresses well, from a good family. What you have to ask yourself is, how dependent is that man on his family, financially, emotionally? Does he live with his parents? How dependent is he on his parents? Because dependency creates pressure. So if the man is dependent on his family, on his parents for certain financial, emotional needs, then the girl is not marrying the man. She is in fact marrying the family system. So there's a family system that works. She's entering that system. Most of us miss that situation. And when I said this is a pandemic waiting to happen, is because when the girl enters, she enters a rosy picture, because given in the north of India, we have these beautiful wedding photographers and wedding filmographers who make a beautiful story out of a wedding. They make the couple feel like they are right out of a Yash Raj movie, and the whole wedding celebration is like a Bollywood party. What happens after is what really matters. This is all that we do for social media. ये सारा social media का pressure है कि यार lifestyle अच्छा दिखाना है अपना, या perfect relationship fantasy होती है, constant comparison हो रहा होता है, validation की addiction होती है. So there's a lot of focus that is being given on public image than your personal stability, your private stability. So here are a list of 5 red flags that you need to watch out for. Given you're the groom or the bride, it applies to both of you. Number 1, the boy's financial dependence on his parents. The groom's financial dependence on his parents is a major red flag. Ladies, listen to me. If the groom belongs to a well-off, wealthy family and they live in a bungalow that has 7 staff members and drivers and BMWs on the call, that is just the show. What really matters, and this is an actual conversation, this is an actual case study that came out in one of my consultations, where the groom was going to get married in 2 months, and he was sharing with me how he's really stressed about this particular project in his work, and blah blah blah, one thing led to another, working in a typical family business. And I asked him, you are so stressed about a family business, may I ask what is your shareholding in the business? Like, नहीं, ये मेरा ही business है. नहीं, ठीक है, आपका business है, तो that means आपकी majority shareholding है. नहीं, मैं अभी executive director. That got me, asking him, and that also got him aware. यार मेरी तो कोई shareholding ही नहीं है इस company में. जिस business को, which was roughly a 500 crore business, को आप बोल रहे हो कि ये मेरा business है, और जब उस पे actually पूछने पे आए कि ये shareholding कितनी है आपकी, आप तो कह रहे हो भैया मेरी कोई shareholding ही नहीं है. अब लड़की की यहाँ पे जो the bride's family is thinking it is the son's business. Son is the future hire, which is the next point. You are marrying a potential. You are marrying someone for their potential. Do not marry for potential. कि यार ये future business owner होगा इस family का, या ये जो फलानी bride है ये future में बहुत सुंदर दिखेगी. Just for the top of my example, I'm not, you may troll me, call me shallow or call me names here, but do not marry someone for potential कि future में ऐसा दिखेगा या future में ऐसा होगा. आज क्या है, आज तेरी क्या शेयर होल्डिंग है, आज ये कितनी सुंदर है, आज इसमें क्या क्वालिटीज़ हैं. You have to see that. Do not marry for potential. People say कि यार they may evolve, they may change. Another example though is, how are they managing their emotions today? What is their emotional stability like? You are marrying into that today. How is this person handling their emotions today? That is what you're marrying into. And I'm sure, there's a courtship period, there's a dating before marriage period in case of an arranged setup. And in case you met online, you still do your dating, live your dating life. And in the dating period itself, you will see all of these red flags. There are also professionals who are doing premarital consultation. Okay, now you might want to look one of those up as well. यहाँ पे अब जो मेरा तीसरा red flag है, that is no boundaries with parents. Parents are involved, the groom's parents or the bride's parents, either ways. They are involved in all kinds of decision making. Yeah, if your offspring is not mature enough to take their own decisions, they should not get married. और अगर आपको उनकी लाइफ के सारे decisions लेने हैं तो that is a major red flag for both the parties here. तो यहाँ पे एक ये मेरी हर उस ग्रूम को, ब्राइड को और उनके पेरेंट्स को ये बहुत like I am making this clear for you that respecting parents is very different from being psychologically, financially dependent on them. This is where you need to draw boundaries, kids. Then the next red flag is lifestyle and value misalignment. So, you want to see what kind of values or do you have, what kind of values are you living with. Now, certain values, certain people would match, certain lifestyles would match. Now, certain people are early risers, certain people are late nighters. Both of them get married, not a great idea. So, this is just an example of a lifestyle mismatch. So, given ये red flags हैं, इसी को अगर हम turn around करें, so having all of these sorted is exactly what will make the marriages work. So, for example, अगर आप shared values की बात करें, अगर आप same values share कर रहे हैं अपने बच्चों के लिए, अपने पैसों के लिए, अपने lifestyle के लिए, अपनी social life के लिए, if you share the same values, and you would know that before you get married, it's great to go. Another thing that really works is making good boundaries, with certain family members, with extended family members. Marriage opens up a lot of things for you. And even more than that, in my personal experience, after becoming a father, things were drastically different for me. And then after becoming a father for the second time, it just elevated everything to the next level. So it is definitely a blessing, and your priorities get sorted once you get married. And I would make a separate video for those millennials, Gen Zs who are having their kid for the first time, or who are first time parents, or early parenthood. I would love to share a lot of things that what my wife and I also created for our little family, and there are certain things even we are struggling with. And the whole point of making this video is to share what did not work for us, what would work for the rest of us. And there are no more such sad, tragic cases like Tusha Sharma. It is incredibly sad what her family would be going through. And I'm not commenting on the groom's family, on the husband's family, but given the fact that the husband is not in the picture anymore, he's absconding, it also says a lot. But I'm not here to make any judgments on anyone. It was my total intention was how we can avoid any of these cases in the future. And if you have someone who's getting married soon, or if you have someone whose son or daughter is getting married soon, please share these videos with them. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.